What's going on, everyone? It's me, it's Count, here with another Pokemon Go video. Today I'm going to be counting down the top 5 Pokemon with a Sinnoh Stone Evolution that you should prioritize first. Now when it comes to Pokemon with a Sinnoh Stone Evolution, of course we have a whole bunch of them that are simply going to be Pokedex entries, but we have quite a few who are actually going to give you an immediate usage. They have a lot of relevance in the meta. They're going to be great gym attackers, they're going to be great gym defenders, they're going to be really great in raids or in PvP, so you definitely want to focus on the Pokemon that are going to be on this list. But before we get into that, if you end up enjoying this video, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Coming in at number 5, it is the big bad boy himself. It is Rhyperior. Now, Rhyperior is the final evolved form of Rhyhorn. This Pokemon is a really strong ground type as well as a really strong rock type. But the reason why he's only number 5 on this list is, of course, because he gets outclassed as a ground type from Groudon. And of course, when it comes to rock types, he is only comparable to another top rock type, which is, of course, Tyranitar with Smackdown. But regardless of that, Rhyperior is a phenomenal gym defender. He's going to give you a lot of damage output if you're looking for a ground type in raid battles or PvP. Rhyperior is a really strong choice for your Sinnoh Stones. So if you do not have a Rhyperior, I definitely suggest getting one with a Sinnoh Stone. Now coming in at number 4, it is the dark type and ice type Weavile. Now Weavile is the evolved form of Sneasel, and Weavile is a really strong glass cannon when it comes to dark types and ice types. I would actually say that compared to a lot of the other dark types and ice types that are out there, Weavile is a more phenomenal choice. And the reason for that is because, just like Gengar, he is the glass cannon among all glass cannons. If you really need a great dark type in raid battles, you really should consider using Weavile. And when it comes to ice types, of course, Weavile will get outclassed by other strong ice types, mainly because of the low amount of TDO that this Pokemon has. But regardless of the fact, it does have an extremely high amount of DPS when it comes to ice types. So if you really are looking for that glass cannon, Weavile is your best choice. Now coming in at number 3, it is the grass type and poison type Pokemon Roserade. Now Roserade is a really awesome grass type, and just like Weavile, it is a bit of a glass cannon, but compared to a Frenzy Plant Venusaur, it's going to output just an insane amount of DPS, especially as a poison type as well. So if you're looking for a really phenomenal grass type, I really suggest you use one of your Sinnoh Stones on a Roselia to pick up a Roserade. One thing that I really have to point out is the fact that Budew is now hatching from 7-kilometer eggs, so it's really easy to pick up a really high IV Roserade right now. And really, it's only going to be a matter of time, so long as you're keeping up with your hatches and sending and receiving gifts with your friends, that you'll be able to pick up a really high IV Roserade through egg hatching. Now coming in at number 2, it is one of my personal favorite Pokemon that's on this list. It is Electivire. Now the reason why Electivire is so high on this list is because when it comes to electric types, he is only beaten by Raikou, but not even by that much. And what's really interesting about Electivire is that he can learn the move Wild Charge, which of course is a very rare move when it comes to electric types. For example, Zapdos and Jolteon do not have this move. It's really only Electivire and Raikou. And speaking of Raikou, it actually beats it out when it comes to raw DPS output. Much like the other Sinnoh Stone Pokemon, it is kind of like a glass cannon, so Raikou does beat it out when it comes to TDO, but if you're looking for just raw DPS numbers, Electivire could actually edge out Raikou. So Electivire is a phenomenal Pokemon and a really safe choice for using your Sinnoh Stones. Before we get into our number 1 Pokemon with a Sinnoh Stone Evolution, let's talk about a few honorable mentions, because of course there's 18 different Pokemon that you can get from Sinnoh Stones, so naturally there's going to be a few that should be on this list, but they just did not make the cut. And one of those Pokemon is of course Honchkrow. Honchkrow is the evolved form of Murkrow, and it is a really strong dark type as well as a flying type. In fact, when it comes to flying type, I would actually say that it is the best in its class. But of course, Honchkrow, much like the other Pokemon that are on this list, it is a bit of a glass cannon, so when it comes to flying types, there may be better choices in terms of TDO and survivability, but Honchkrow is a really solid pickup. And of course, another honorable mention, and I think a lot of people are going to be angry that this Pokemon is not on this list, but of course it is Togekiss. Now the reason why I didn't have Togekiss on this list is because there isn't a fast fairy type move right now, so that does essentially gimp this Pokemon. But regardless of that fact, Togekiss is one of the best Sinnoh Stone Pokemon, and if you really need a great fairy type, or you need a great gym defender, or even a great PvP Pokemon, I definitely suggest you use your Sinnoh Stones on getting a Togekiss. And finally, let's talk about the number one Pokemon that's on this list, and of course it's going to be Mamoswine. Mamoswine is a really strong ice type, and it is the final evolved form of Swinub. This Pokemon is a Pokemon that we're going to be able to get during Swinub Community Day, and it's going to learn the exclusive move Ancient Power. Now there's a lot of YouTubers out there and there's a lot of Reddit posts talking about the full potential of this move. I'm not going to get into that here, but regardless of that fact, Mamoswine is the most strongest ice type in the game. This has been the speculation pretty much since before Gen 4 was even released, and according to a lot of the different movesets that are in the code, that's what this Pokemon is going to be. It is definitely going to be the top ice type in the game. And of course, it does have a lot of insane stats when it comes to defense and health. So it's going to be a great gym defender. It's going to be great in PvP. This is one Pokemon that you definitely want to get, and it's one that's worthy of your Sinnoh Stones. So yeah, there you have it, folks. This is the top 5 Pokemon that you should prioritize first when it comes to Sinnoh Stone Evolutions. Like I mentioned, there's a whole bunch of Pokemon that didn't make this list, and it's mainly because they just don't have the significance that a lot of these Pokemon have. So unfortunately, I would have liked to see Pokemon like Gallade and Magmortar make this list, but because they are outclassed by other Pokemon of their type, and it's because they're missing some key moves and key stats, they did not make this list. Of course, with Pokemon like Gallade, we do not know what kind of exclusive move it could get with the eventual Routes Community Day, but until then, unfortunately, it's not going to be a top 5 Sinnoh Stone Evolution, but things could definitely change, so make sure you're paying attention to that. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, folks, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for more content just like this one, and share this video with your friends. And yeah, I am Count Chinsula, and I will catch you all later.